Good morning, everyone. Here's Patrick Juranek, and I'm founder and CEO of Startup Distrup. And I am sending you greetings from Czechia, Central Europe, to all participants all around the world, from Central Europe, UK, even we have some who are from the US, so that's amazing. At the beginning, I would like to just briefly tell you what is Startup Distrup about, because we are trying to inspire, educate, and connect entrepreneurs, startup founders, and technology innovators all around the world through community events, even some mentoring sessions. So there is much more. And if you are interested to be part of this community, please just let us know. We'll be more than happy to let you know how to join us. Today, we organized together with British Embassy in Prague and Bratislava, amazing online event with the best startups from Czechia and Slovakia, who will compete with their pitches. And in only 2 hours, you'll see the winners who will get to the European round and win tailor-made program, connecting them with the top UK startup ecosystem investors, customers, or even other networking partners. And you can also look forward to a panel of excellent judges and great moderator. Like moderator will be Petar Savage from Startup Grind London. And as a judges, you will see Michael Jacobsen, a business coach, author, entrepreneur, and judge of the Great British Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Petra Dzurovcinova, Chief Innovation Officer at City of Bratislava, Jaroslav Trojan and his managing partner Nation One, and Tony Kypreos at Dealmaker at Global Entrepreneur Program. And right now, I would like to it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Nick Archer, Her Majesty's Ambassador to the Czech Republic, for his welcome speech. Nick, the stage is yours.
Patrick, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I'm the British Ambassador here in Prague, and I am without doubt the least techie thing you're going to see today. But the reason why I was keen just briefly to talk to you all is because you may or may not be wondering why the British government, through the 2 British embassies in Bratislava and Prague, are supporting and sponsoring this event. And the thing it's not is an attempt to suck tech expertise out of Central Europe and give it a new home in London. What we do passionately believe is that for the tech sectors in all our countries to grow, the more closely we are interconnected, the better that is for the companies, and therefore the better that is for all our economies. We have a very attractive tech centre in the UK. We have fabulous professional services. We have lots of people with capital to invest in promising startups. But in my mind always are 2 examples of how this is win-win. You all know Avast. Avast, Czech company, floated on the London Stock Exchange, but still very much here in this country. And indeed, I've got a call scheduled with the chief executive, as it happens, on Friday this week. The other example, perhaps less well known, is a fabulous tech company down in Brno, which one of our judges will certainly know. And that is RWS Moravia. They chose a different partnership model and are now a very important component in a global group owned back in the UK. So there are different ways of taking advantage of the opportunity. Our job is simply to create the opportunity. And that's what I hope that everybody competing will get to today. There are ultimately only 3 European winners, but along the way through the 2 rounds, there are lots of opportunities for exposure and conversations and driving your startup into the limelight. So have a fantastic competition. And we look forward to partnering with those of you who eventually come out on top, but seeing a lot more of you. Thank you very much indeed. Back to you, Patrick.
Hey, thank you very much, Nick, for your kind words. And the Tech Rocketship Awards final is starting now. So once more, good morning and welcome you at this amazing Tech Rocketship Awards. Right now, I would like to pass the word to Petra Savage, who will be the moderator for today's speeches. So hi, Petra, and stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for your kind introduction, and welcome to you all, wherever you're tuning in this morning, or evening or afternoon. I would like to thank everyone for watching, and especially to thank all the startups that applied to Czech and Slovak edition of the UK Tech Rocketship Awards. This event is organized by the Department of International Trade with a partnership with the British Embassy in Prague and Bratislava, and also with a little help of Startup Distrup, which is represented by Patrick. So this event is going to last around 2 hours. So because you're up for a treat, please grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or glass of water. We're going to hear from 8 best startups selected in this competition. Each startup will have around 10 minutes, 3 minutes to pitch, and then 7 minutes for Q&A. You know, after the pitching, we'll wait for the jury and judges to decide who's going to be winner and who will be lucky for you to go to London for a grand finale in 2021. And I must tell you, I was a part of similar organized startup competitions before with Department of International Trade, and it's absolutely amazing for these startups to come to the UK and then scale with the support of DIT. So I really wish you all the best for that. So while we are waiting actually for the judges to make a decision, we're going to have a panel discussion showcasing some of the best startup case studies who successfully scaled to the UK from Czech or Slovakia. And these will be uplifting and Slido. And this panel will be moderated by my dear colleague Marion Gosdick from Startup Guide. And at the very end of this event, we'll hear the announcements of the winner, a closing remark by Nigel Baker, Her Majesty's Ambassador to Slovakia. So Patrick, I believe, already mentioned our judges. But let me just, without any further ado, go to present the startups and invite some of them to the stage, because we don't have much time, unfortunately. So we'll have 8 startups, as I mentioned. We have Tesla Medical, Xenon, Mileus, Emobot, Born Digital, Inscar, and Adela, and RV Magnetic. So without any further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Lucas from Tesla Media to present himself. Lucas, are we here?
Hi, yes, indeed. Can you see my screen?
I believe we can. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Roman Dvorak. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Tesla Medical, and I'll be giving today's presentation. We are a clinical stage biotech company with patented and approved for marketing platform technology, enabling safe and effective home-based, non-invasive electrosurgical treatment. On the left here, you see our management team, and on the right is our mission, which is to bring relief to patients and make their lives better while also reducing the burden on the environment. Our vision is to replace pharmaceuticals by electroceuticals. Electroceuticals are a new class of therapeutic modalities which work by targeting the neural circuits of organs using electrical stimulation. The first indication we are targeting is overactive bladder, which is a condition that causes a frequent urge to urinate to a degree that negatively impacts one's daily life. Many episodes are associated with urine leakage or incontinence. This has serious impact on quality of life and well-being of patients, as well as health and social services systems. Almost 7 million people in the UK suffers from this, and more than 2 million of them with incontinence, to a total cost exceeding £2 billion annually. The typical treatments right now are either pharmacotherapy, about 90%, or Botox injections, about 10%. This actually still remains undiagnosed and inadequately treated illness, and satisfaction with existing treatments is low. Approximately 70% of patients who underwent therapy stopped it due to side effects or low effectiveness. Our device is a first-in-class, clinically proven electroceutical device with a biofeedback closed-loop system. And our cloud-based algorithm provides optimization of treatment parameters for personalized therapy to achieve the best effect for each patient. It is home-based, safe, effective, non-invasive, and painless. Here are the results of our first proof of concept study in 29 patients. And after 6 weeks of treatment, we saw a 70% reduction in the number of episodes of incontinence. And on this slide, you see in comparison with other existing therapies, and you see that across the board in all key parameters, we are at least comparable, if not better, than those existing treatments. And our value proposition for the UK is that we can significantly improve the quality of life of more than 6 million patients with OAB, while reducing burden on the nurses and doctors, and potentially save more than £10 billion in the next 10 years. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Roman, for your presentation. Judges, I believe Tony might have some questions because you're in the health tech quite a lot. So judges, please, if you have any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Roman. It was a great presentation. Unfortunately, I don't know if anybody else saw it. We didn't go through the slides. There wasn't any presentation mode. So we just saw the first slide and none of the others, but we had the commentary at least. Digital therapeutics is a very important and growing area. You didn't mention much about the go-to-market and whether you're going to be class 1 or class 2 certified by the FDA or MHRA, and how you're going to get remittances and the business model. Can you say a couple of words about that?
Yeah, so we are right now working on our strategy for the US and preparing the package for the FDA. We think that this should be class 1 potentially. In Europe, we already have a CE mark, so we are all set there. And right now, in our next stages in the development would be that this all is quite difficult and costs a lot of money to set it up for the US, to figure out the reimbursement and all that. So those are things which we are starting to work on right now. And actually, sorry, in the US, it would be a 2A.
Thank you. Anyone else? Jaroslav?
Roman, thank you as well for the nice presentation. Could you tell us a little bit more about your team? Where is the expertise coming from?
Okay, sure. So we are right now team obviously focused in the Czech Republic. We are from 3 different locations in Prague, Pardubice, and Ostrava. Actually, the founder of the team, the CEO, Lukáš Doskočil, who actually couldn't be here today because he is sick, has about 10 years of experience with development of these devices, and he's the founder and one who put it all together. I'm the CMO, and I've been in a pharma and biotech business for more than 20 years, most of it in the US. Our head of regulatory has had quite a bit of experience with CE mark and regulatory processes in US and with the regulatory authorities. And we have a great clinical advisor from Ostrava, Professor Kohut, who has been a urologist in practice for almost 30 years and also has a lot of hands-on experience with neuromodulation devices for treatment of various diseases. So that's our core team. Please.
Petra, please ask.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Roman. Thank you for the presentation. My question would be, do you have any feedback from patients on the device? How do they react to it?
They actually have a great feedback. In our initial study, we had 29 patients, and the responder rate was great, and the effectiveness was really very good. And they there were no issues with taking the device basically to their homes, which was a big step forward for us, because initially this device was intended for use in offices by doctors. But then we made the big step and designed it and really made it so simple to use, so that we could give it to patients. They could take it to their homes and do it themselves. And that translated in a great treatment satisfaction data we got from them. Please, Michael.
Oh, Roman, you talked briefly about the FDA and the process that you're going through with them. Obviously, they're notoriously complicated and difficult, but then at the end of that process, you usually end up with a fairly a product ready to be commercialized. Obviously, there's adequate time, or a lot of time, attention, compliance gone into that process.
Yeah, I mean, we admittedly are at the beginning with the FDA. So, we are, a small Central European startup. So we have kind of started local, but that's definitely our next stage. And that's what we are now working towards, and raising money and making the team larger and stronger. And also we plan to go the 510K route, which is easier and not as costly. But I mean, it is exactly as you said. FDA it is difficult, but they are data driven, and we think we have great data. We have a great device, and so we feel very strongly that eventually we will prevail.
Amazing. So I have a final question for you, Roman. Why Tesla Medical? Are you inspired by Elon Musk's brain-computer interface startup?
So we, as we all know, actually the original owner of the name, Nikola Tesla, precedes even the amazing Elon, and we were frankly much more inspired by him. So the original Tesla.
Absolutely. Tesla is my homeboy and an absolute hero. So thank you. Thank you so much for that, Roman. And thank you, judges, for your questions.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Up next is Stanislav from Xenon. Stanislav, please join us on the stage.
Hello, can you hear me? Traditional computer need a CPU, graphic cards, disk drives, and cooling systems. They have a limited lifespan, and they generate noise, heat, and dust. They are not environmentally friendly. I'm Stanislav Klepko, the founder and CEO of Xenon, and we replace all of this. We replace it all with this. This is the SC client. It's a small virtual device which sits on the back of your screen. It connects your screen to a central server, and that provides full computing power, all your data. And it is the only such system that can deliver full 3D and 2D graphics. It does all of this without the need for traditional computer equipment. Your server can either be on site or a remote data center. There are no mechanical moving parts, no individual operating systems, and no individual applications at each workstation. The system generates up to 70% overall cost savings and 90% environmental savings. Good for your wallet and good for the planet. In terms of access, the system is a force multiplier. The system is ideal for any large organizations, but we are currently targeting schools and universities. We already have 3,000 SC clients installed in 250 schools across Slovakia, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland, and we are working on other clients around the world. The worldwide market is vast. In the UK alone, there are more than 43,000 educational establishments. The UK is a perfect base for us to build an international clientele. We are looking for expertise, support, and partners to help us establish that base to introduce our unique product into the UK and across the wider world. We have a great product and we have a great team. We would like to be a part of a Great Britain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stanislav. That was very slick. So, dear judges, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Stanislav, that was a really slick presentation, as Peter said. I really like it. I think it could be very disruptive. You didn't, obviously getting into these educational establishments, it's not just a school at a time. You have to have the Department of Education and other, buying bodies to approve this. Have you found any partners or distributors? Or how do you go to market with this, and how do you get it validated?
Yes, we have our own sales team in Czech Republic, 3 salesperson, in Poland 2 salesperson, in Slovakia 3 salesperson, and in Hungary 1 salesperson. And we have a business director who is managing them. They are visiting the schools on a daily basis. We have a call operator which is calling the schools. So one salesperson is visiting per month about 50 schools. So per month we are visiting around 300 schools in the middle of Europe. We are on each conference for the schools. Now we are making the webinars for the schools. For the last 3 days we had webinars in the Poland, Slovakia and Czech Republic, and we have around 1,500 attenders from the schools. So really the schools love our technology, and I think we have the system how we can sell the products on the market. But in the countries like UK, I think we need a partner to help us introduce our product in UK, to help us with lavaliers, with accountants and so on, and to find the best way how to sell the product and which type of schools will be the best for the start. We are also working on other markets like Australia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and so on, because I have some contacts over there which are working in educational sector, and there we are trying for partners to sell by B2B. But I think that UK can be really a good base for us to spread the technology to the world from this country, because you have better experiences with developing worldwide market, worldwide business like in Slovakia. Yeah.
No, thank you for that. And you should check out InnoStars in Kosice. We just help them do a partnership with Raspberry Pi Foundation, so it may be useful for you to connect there. But we can do that for you afterwards.
Thank you very much.
Michael, please go ahead.
Stanislav, thanks for the presentation. I wanted to ask you a little bit further, because you mentioned using the UK as a springboard for more global expansion, which is obviously one of the things I think that it's very appropriate for. Talking about Australia, Malaysia, Vietnam, what's the plan after? Australia is a very, very good country, by the way, I have to say. But what's the plan after the UK? Is it a specific Australia, Vietnam, Malaysia, or is it more be directed by where the clients are, where the market sort of guides you?
Well, we are working also on other markets. For example, we are working on market research in Austria now, and we would like to continue to Germany and to the Western Europe. But we are doing everything step by step, because the team need to grow, we need to get experience and so on. So, but as I said, for me, the UK is one of the best countries in the Europe for the business development international. So this is the reason why we are interested in about cooperation with the UK.
Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanislav, for your presentation. So my question would be, do you think it's more effective for schools to have screens, fixed screens, or portable computers for students, I mean?
For students, the system, what we brings to the market is much more effectiveness like a standard computer, because as I said, we are not wasting with electronic components, and everything is only once on the server. So I'm not right if I understand the question.
If they do not prefer portable rather than some fixed screens with their education, or is it portable? That's the question, probably.
I think that's. Sorry, my English is not perfect. Can you explain?
So, for example, when you're a student, you might want to move around the class, go to a different classroom, or study somewhere else. And with a notebook, you can do that. But with a screen that is fixed, it's harder.
Yes, I understand. But they can connect to their virtual operating system from any classroom, because For example, we have the installation when the monitor is included at the table, and his monitor is moving up during the lesson, and student can access to his virtual Windows operating system from any classroom. So it is better like a laptop to take the laptop from classroom to classroom and to home and back to the school. But here they can connect, as I said, from any virtual desktop device to their virtual operating system. So it's, I think, it's better like to take a laptop to each classroom.
Stanislav, thanks a lot for the presentation. I think it's a wonderful product. I'm a numbers guy, so could you please share more numbers with us? How much revenue have you generated so far? What is the average price per unit? What is the margin on the hardware, etc.?
Of course, I will share the screen because I prepared the backup slides. So here you can see. Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Can you make it bigger, please?
Of course. Okay, here you can see price for the standard ICT room for non-technical programs and applications, pounds, and the price for one seat is 364 British pounds. So I think that price is very good, and the price includes everything. There are the display device, the server, the system configuration and implementation. We are doing it by this way. The school send us the list of the programs they would like to use, and we send them fully pre-configured server with technicians, and we make implementation for less than half day because everything is prepared. Also, the price include the Windows or Microsoft license for the schools. So it's everything included. And the price for a cloud client, it's a system for 3D applications. It's a worldwide unique system, I need to say, because we are able to run any CAD application, ArchiCAD, AutoCAD, SketchUp, 3ds Max, Adobe Creative Cloud, and so on these small boxes. And also the price includes everything, the license, the hardware, the implementation, configuration of server, training for the teacher, how to use the management console, and so on. Maybe you can be interested. We also prepare the management console for the teacher. They can share their desktop to all students. They can see what students are doing. They can enter to the screen, help them to work in some application, and so on. And a lot of another possibilities to communicate with students.
Well, thank you so much, Stanislav. I believe that's the only time we got so far. But thank you for a great presentation and all the judges for your questions. Up next, we have Veronica from Milos. Veronica, please, would you like to join us?
Hi, Petar. Thank you very much.
Please, the stage is yours.
Yes, so I'm sharing my screen. If you live away from the city center and you use public transport for commuting, chances are you know the struggle. All the transferring, walking and waiting in between the transfers, and then walking home from the last bus stop. The problem is, this really isn't comfortable. And that's where Milos comes in. Milos guarantees that every day you can get home comfortably and easily, without your own car. We're seeing a huge paradigm shift. Today, we are focused on moving as many people, not cars, down the road as possible. So cars need to give way to people. But how do we motivate citizens to leave their own cars at home? Well, at Milos, through our analysis, we found that focusing on a single transportation need, the evening commute, and making it comfortable, we can have the greatest impact. Our solution is an automated deep integration of public transport in city centers with taxi and ride-hail services in areas where you would need to transfer or where public transport would not take you at all. And for the end consumers, the commuters, this is a comfortable commuting option with a guarantee of the availability every day, so you can leave your car at home. For cities, this reduces cars, congestion, and pollution. And for taxi and ride-hail operators, it enables them to grow sustainably. Milos has a B2B2C business model. So we are not building our own app, and we are not providing this transport service. We are building technology which consists of a suite of APIs, mobile and web SDK, And we provide this technology to our customers, ride-hail and taxi operators. Thus, we enable them to provide this combined transport service to their users in their own apps. And by doing so, they can increase their user engagement, ride frequency, and as a result, they will grow their average revenue per user and their market share. Our monetization model is a combination of a SaaS monthly subscription and a fee per API call. Our target market is the European taxi and ride-hailing market, which was 45.5 billion euro in revenue last year. And these taxi trips are only 5% of all transportation in cities, so there's large room for growth. Our competitors are mobility SaaS platforms like Trafi, global ride-hail operators like Uber, and journey planning apps like Google Maps. Our competitive advantage is that we are focused on solving a single transportation need, combining only two modes of transport, and this enables a deep integration and the guarantee of availability. Our team has a unique combination of over 8 years' experience in urban mobility. Our CEO co-founded the largest Czech ride-hailing company, technology, and B2B expertise, giving us the know-how and skills to tackle this problem both on the technological and the business side. And when it comes to funding, we raised a pre-seed round of investment at the beginning of this year. Since then, we've built the MVP of our product and launched 2 pilots. Now we're looking to raise a seed round of 2 million euro. We'll use this to fuel growth and organize sales in Europe, for R&D and market fitting, and to build our B2G proposition, to make urban mobility more sustainable. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Always great to see female entrepreneurs. I believe, yeah, it's very much good for mobility. Petra has a question. Petra, please.
Veronica, thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to ask, you mentioned 2 pilots. Could you tell us a little bit more about the pilots? And second question would be, who's the customer?
Yes, so maybe I'll start with the customer. The customer is a ride-hailing or taxi operator. So let's say the likes of Uber, Liftago in Czechia, and so on. And these customers, we provide the technology to them to provide the combined transport service. And so regarding the pilots, we have 2 pilots. The first one is in Czechia in Prague with Liftago, and the second one is in Slovakia in Bratislava. And maybe a little bit more about what a pilot is. So we have a direct sales approach, which is phased. And we start with a business impact analysis. So the customer provides us with 4 to 6 weeks of historical ride data. And based on these data, we analyze the impact of providing this intermodal or combined transport service to their users on their business. Then the second phase is that we integrate with them. So they provide us their data, or they send us their data in real time, and we do operations impact analysis. So we do this all in real time, and we analyze the impact of this service on their operations and how it could work. The third phase is that we are focused on customer development. We do market validation in their own apps. So, for example, Liftago has an app, and in this app, they provide the market validation. What this means for the end consumer is that you can open the app, you are offered the option of this combined transport, and you can search for it. When you get a combined transport option, you can see where you would get on the public transport, where you would transfer to the taxi, how long this whole journey would take, how much it would cost, and then you can provide feedback. So you can't order yet. And then this last phase, the fourth one, is the live intermodal or combined transport operations. And in this phase, our customer already provides the ordering option. So when you're a user, then you can not just see the combined transport, see how it would work, but you can also order it. And in Czechia, in Prague, we're in the third phase, and in Slovakia, in Bratislava, we are in the second phase. And I see my camera has.
Well, I hope we can still hear you, Veronica.
Yes.
Can we hear you?
Yes, I can still hear all of you, and I'm trying to fix this camera problem, but I can still hear everyone.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Petra. Do we have any other questions for Veronica? Michael?
Well, yeah, I will ask a question. Actually, I wanted to ask. It's obviously a very complex logistical. I thought it was an excellent presentation, by the way, Veronica. Very complex logistical undertaking, coordinating all of these different pieces of infrastructure. I saw a slide on the team. What's the future of the team looking like? Because I imagine that after the pilots in Czech and in Slovakia, that team's going to have to be boosted quite significantly.
Yes. So, Michael, thank you for your question. What you can see in the slide is the core team. And in the past months, we have actually grown our team. Now we are 11 of us. 2 people are part-time, so 10 people full-time headcount. Most of the team are developers. So as this is a very complex technology, most of the team works on the technology. And in the future, we are planning to expand the technological team. We're also planning to hire an international business developer, as we are focused on the European market and not really our local market. And we are also planning to grow the team further in terms of business development. So not just chief business development officer, but also other business development roles. So those are the main plans in terms of the team.
Okay.
That answers your question.
Thanks.
Jaroslav, would you like to ask a question, maybe?
Yeah, very. I have to agree with Michael that your presentation was very. It included everything, so I don't have many questions. My number one question would probably be, how long is it going to take for us to have Mellows and to have this to have the transportation connected, in Prague and in Bratislava? How long is it going to take?
Yes, good question. Thank you very much for the feedback, Jaroslav. So in terms of the 4 phases that I described, each of the phases takes around 2 to 4 weeks, and then the decision to launch the intermodal operations and basically to launch the service publicly so that users can order this combined transport service is up to our customer. So it is always about negotiating with the customer how much time they need or they want for the market validation, for getting feedback from the market, and then also what their product priorities are and when they can actually launch this service, because it does involve some integration and some development work on their side. And right now we can say that we are expecting at the beginning of next year, hopefully in Q1, we will be able to launch the combined transport service in Prague. And we are now planning to launch the market validation in Bratislava. So we are hoping in the coming weeks the market validation will be live in Bratislava, and then we are expecting that also next year the whole service, the combined transport service, will be available for users in the market. So just to answer very briefly, it is always up to our customer, but the ideal case scenario is that it can be done, especially from our side, in a matter of a few weeks, so up to 1.5 to 2 months.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Veronica, for your amazing presentation. And now we have Jonathan from Emobot. Jonathan?
Hello.
Hello, please.
How are we doing? Let me just share the screen with you. Oh, okay. Let's stop that sharing and just double check whilst we got technical problem to make sure that we have the right image on screen. There we go. Let's double check. Here we go. Right. Hopefully you can see that now. Great. So, good morning, everybody. My name's Jonathan Carey. I'm a Brit sat in London, obviously speaking on behalf of a Slovak company. As you well know, Slovakia is at the forefront of automotive manufacturing in the world. In fact, it produces more cars per capita than anywhere else in the world. But there's a real opportunity to shift and transition Slovakia from not just made in Slovakia, but it being engineered, designed, and developed, as well as being manufactured in Slovakia in order to support the global growth of the automotive industry, and in particular electrification. So the world is going electric. We all understand that it's just a question of how fast. And in fact, if you look at all the statistics, the car is going electric faster than you think. But it's not just cars. From trains, planes, buses, trucks, everything will eventually be electric in order to support the climate targets that governments around the world have set out. So Emobot is being established as a startup company based in Slovakia to design and engineer and develop the latest battery cells. And the problem that we're really solving for is the fact that today all batteries are made equal. So what does that mean? It means fundamentally everybody who engineers a vehicle, an electric vehicle, has to do so using pretty much a standard product, something they get from a catalogue and very much off the shelf. And that means they have to compromise the ultimate performance and delivery of their vehicle and its application. That's fine when you develop, obviously, a passenger car, but if you want a high performance car, you want an electric aircraft, you want a truck, they all need different trade-offs and different performance attributes. So really what Emobot is all about is solving that problem to fast track battery and cell innovation for the benefit of our customers by providing a customized battery solution that allows you to maximize the performance of all different types of transport across Europe, with a particular focus obviously on supporting the Central European region and its electrification. So it's a rapidly growing market with a diversified customer base. There's about 30 or 40 different electric vehicles on the market at the moment, and that will grow to over 500 by 2025. All of those vehicles, no matter what they are, need a different type of battery in order to maximize their performance and delivery to the market. So despite the recent announcements and obviously increased capacity from a number of players that already exist in Europe, there's still also insufficient supply. And there'll be about a 30 to 40 gigawatt hour insufficient supply to meet the demand in Europe. So what we do is we deliver our discovery to delivery approach, which means we're 10 times faster than the competition in terms of delivering a tailored cell. And we do this R&D for customers because that's our competitive advantage. We're building state-of-the-art facilities with a 250 megawatt hour R&D center and pilot line by 2022 in Voderady, just down the road from Bratislava, and a 10 gigawatt hour gigafactory by 2024 to produce the technology with leading battery cells to support electrification. So happy to take your questions and also help you understand more about our electric future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Fortunately, we just seen one slide from your deck, but it's interesting.
That's all I was keeping it very, very simple. There was no deck. It was about listening to the words, not reading the screen.
It's interesting that British government just last week announced to move to electric vehicles just in 10 years. So that's a good timing. Anyone have a question for Jonathan? Tony?
Michael. Yeah, okay. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for the one slide slick presentation. So that was good. In terms of questions, two are for me. One is, who's your closest competitor in your particular field of customization of battery cells? And secondly, what role do you see the UK having in this growth?
Yeah. So first question, to answer your question, is there isn't anyone doing customized cells, not at a gigafactory scale. So you can go to a number of very bespoke producers who will produce sample cells to customize it, but then you have to find someone who can produce it. So what Emobot does is effectively integrate everything from the R&D development, the customization, the sample cells, and then into scale production effectively. But it's also how we do that customization. What's unique with us is we use what's called a high throughput process, uses artificial intelligence effectively to optimize the design of experiments. So when you conduct cell chemistry research, you test multiple variables effectively. Each one has an impact on the performance of another. So from a design of experiments, you need to run hundreds in parallel. And that's what our approach does. So instead of the traditional approach of testing one or two variables, building a cell, testing it, validating it, you're able to synthesize hundreds at once and then analyze all of those results against past results using the artificial intelligence to then find the optimized results. So it's 10x faster, it's significantly cheaper, And also then we offer the integrated approach from the initial optimization R&D work all the way through to then the gigafactory scale. In terms of the UK, well, the UK is a little bit behind. There is obviously one major player, Britishvolt, that is clearly looking at the market and gathering investment. There's about 4 or 5 companies, all taking a slightly different angle. You have Northvolt in Sweden, Freya in Norway, Emobot in Slovakia, Britishvolt in the UK. There's also ACC, which is in France as well. So there's a number of different players, all taking a very different approach, but Emobot's the only one that offers the fully integrated customization, R&D through to production, and doing that in a way that's faster than anybody else.
Thank you, Jonathan. Michael, did you have a question?
I was going to say, Jonathan, excellent presentation. Thank you very much. With regards to Emobot, I know that you've got a pretty big outfit already in Bratislava and a pretty solid team. What is the sort of core team? What does the core team look like for this?
Yeah, so it's an international team, as you'd expect. So someone like myself, I've got over 20 years of automotive experience. I founded In Motion Ventures for Jaguar Land Rover, so I've built and invested in multiple mobility transportation services, developed vehicles all of my career. Our top team is effectively led by a serial entrepreneur in San Francisco, Presidio Partners, founded also A123 Systems. We have our CTO who comes from Faraday, Porsche, developing electric batteries. Our our Chief Operation Officer, he comes from the automotive industry as well as people from Tesla, LG Chem, and all of the other big players. So we're distributed across the world, in the US, in Europe, and we have probably around 400, 500 plus man years of automotive experience. Our new executive vice chairman is Andy Palmer, the former CEO of Aston Martin, and obviously the former COO of Nissan Global, and effectively the grandfather of the Nissan Leaf. So when it comes to credibility, the team has extensive experience, has engineered batteries before, understand the chemistry and the development, and has got previous experience in building a battery company from scratch in the past. Not an insignificant undertaking, let's put it that way. But we understand the market, the customers, and obviously how you need to interface with all of the level of due diligence that's required from an automotive company, so like a BMW and so forth, in order to be able to supply a high quality, reliable cell at volume repeatedly to the automotive industry and beyond.
Thank you.
Amazing team. Jaroslav, would you like to ask some questions in regards to numbers or similar things?
No, just one quick comment that I feel really happy that we have such innovative companies in this region. I think it's really great. My question is, do I understand correctly that you provide services as well as end products to your customers?
Sorry, carry on.
And what is the business model for each?
Yeah, so we don't only provide services. We provide integrated service with our product. So we would never do research and development without doing the research and development to produce a cell to test and then put it into production effectively. Because our business model is around the customization of the cell and the monetization of it through the production. And obviously selling those cells either as cells or as modules and packs, depending on the customer. So large automotive customers effectively will build their own packs, assemble them. They may want cells or they may want modules effectively. And there's some push towards standardization of modules. Other smaller manufacturers, those are underserved that we particularly are very much focused on, they will need potentially modules and packs delivered for them with a battery management system. So we're able to offer that kind of integrated solution from the cell chemistry to the delivery of the electric drive system that will suit their vehicles effectively.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, that was absolutely amazing. Sorry, that's also the only time we got. So thank you so much, Jonathan, for a fantastic presentation. Okay, so up next, we have Xenon from Born Digital. Xenon, are you here?
Yes. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm ready to share my pitch.
Please do.
Okay. So thank you very much. And hopefully it's on the screen. So as I said, my name is Xenon Slivka, and I'm founder of Born Digital. And in next 3 minutes, I would like to share with you what we are doing, why we are doing it, and basically where we are heading. So our company is focusing on automation of the human conversation using artificial intelligence and neural networks. We help our clients that are typically contact centers or customer care or sales teams to achieve 3 goals. One is to manage their costs. Second is to increase their sales numbers. And last but not least, improve the experience of their customers. We own our own products, which supports major languages, and we are currently around 18 people team that is primarily based in Czech Republic. Let me explain to you on one simple real-life scenario how we help our clients. So imagine that you're in front of your ATM and you forgot your payment card PIN. Yeah. In the traditional approach, you would call the call center, and then you would go through the IVR, pressing the buttons on your smartphone, waiting for an operator just to learn that he's actually unable to help you because due to fraud, he or she cannot tell you the PIN. So your customer experience is actually not very good. You did not achieve your goal. So, and you're waiting at home for your new card. In the digital call center, actually, we have immediately available voice assistants 24/7 that is able to predict your call, and using a voice biometry to authenticate you, it tells you the PIN. So look for the difference. You achieve your goal, you have your cash, and you resolve your problem in just a few minutes. And the cost of interactions for our clients are actually very low. We use our technology, of course, in other industries as well. We help people to report electricity outages, or we can help people to fix their internet connectivity at home. We also try to save lives. In cooperation with Czech Fire Rescue System, we are able to pick your call, take your location, number of injured people, and send the help your way. So where we are heading? At this moment, we have already validated our product on the market. With our key customers like Deutsche Telekom or Societe Generale or E.ON, we have developed voice assistants or text assistant that already automated over 2 million calls up to date. We generated over 1.1 million revenue already with profit margin of 33%. So we feel we are ready to expand UK and Europe. We see in number of areas increasing demand for our product, so we would like to be there. At the same time, we are working on the global product that will be available fully online and basically with predefined set of conversations for different industry. You're able to configure your agent just hopefully in few clicks. So that's it from me today. Thanks a lot for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Xenon, thank you for sharing. That's some amazing traction you have there. And I'm sure the voice technology is booming during the lockdown. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Judges, do you have any questions? Yes, Petra, please.
No, thank you for your presentation. My question would be, how do people actually respond, the customers, how do they respond to it? Are they okay, happy with automated calls?
Yes, thank you. So based on our research, we are somewhere in between of the human. Of course, we are not dogmatic that we are saying that we can replace the human interactions. That's probably using the artificial intelligence will still not be possible in number of years to come. But we have actually much better results than traditional IVR pressing button machine. We are somewhere in between of the customer experience, and we believe that the smart combination of human-assisted channel and the automation is the best experience for your clients.
Anyone else? Michael, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, Xenon, thanks very much for the presentation. It was fantastic. So you validated the product. When was that validated, and what was the process around that?
Mm-hmm. So I can say one use case that we have developed together with Slovak Telecom. So the technical help desk, we developed a voice bot or voice assistant that is helping to pick up the call. as it's integrated with the network, at the same time when it's picking up the call, it's already running a diagnostics on your internet connectivity. Once you're responding to the assistant, it can help you actually to guide you through the restart of the modem, or it can restart your modem remotely. It can check all the configurations, and it can simulate a human-like conversation and help to resolve your connectivity problem. So this is one of the, I think, one of the most successful scenarios where we have actually we help to save approximately 22 agents with keeping actually the same customer satisfaction, which is great achievement.
Thanks.
Well, I believe it's absolutely crucial for everyone in the lockdown to have the access on the internet and don't have that huge pain point. Thank you for solving that. Anyone else has a question? Jaroslav, please.
Xenon, I think it's really impressive what you have been building and working on. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, how long is it gonna to take for individuals to have AI-driven communication on our side as well? So that these machines would be talking to each other.
So as I mentioned, our end vision and goal is that you have it available in a couple of minutes in self-configured website. We still have a few steps to go there, but at this moment, when the customer approaches us and gives us the use case he would like us to automate, it takes us approximately 2 weeks to deliver a prototype that the customer is able to test. Then we go through the round of testing together with our client. It takes approximately 1 to 2 weeks to fine-tune the conversation, make sure that we capture all the right words, and train the model. After that, there is a standard pilot with the live customers, where we again fine-tune and help the model to be trained. That takes another 1 or 2 weeks. After this model is trained, which is a process of approximately 1 month, we are ready to deploy in the production, where of course we need to integrate with the customer's voice telephony server and backend systems. And that is individual, but in approximately within 3 months, that is feasible to achieve.
Well, I might have a question if I may jump in, and
Sure.
It's in regards to IP strategy and in your tech stacks. Do you use some existing tools like Russia, AWS, Alexa type of things, or you develop your own neural networks and AI modules?
So for the brain of the solution, meaning the natural language processing, which is actually guiding the conversation and telling running the conversation, this is our product. And we are proud of it because we have developed a lot of additional functions around that. Of course, the input to our model is text. And for transcription of voice to text and text to voice, we're using existing solutions like Google or Azure or Amazon, or we are working with local vendors on Czech Slovak market that focusing on the language. For us, it's important text, and then we do the conversation guidance.
That's really good that you have your own tech. Anyone else, the judges, have a question for them here? Well, that's the best when judges don't have questions, mean that you did a great job.
Hopefully that's the best. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the next steps.
Thank you very much to all of you. And then next we have Matusz from Ansar. Matusz, please join us.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. I will try to share my screen first. Okay, hope you can see the screen. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. Yeah, so let me start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Matusz. I'm a founder CEO of Insart.sk. we have discovered that many constructions and buildings suffer from lack of preventive maintenance, and nowadays monitoring techniques tend to be not effective. So we have decided to found a company and present you today our satellite monitoring service. These are pictures from events we are trying to avoid from happening, and we use satellite data in order to extract vertical displacements in millimetric precision. So after each new satellite acquisition is made, our customers can have access to regularly updated data. So you might wonder what's shown in this picture. This is a main product of ours. It's a displacement map over 3 villages in Slovakia. And this is how we monitor landslides. Each of these targets is corresponding to radar targets on the ground, and it has precise millimetric measurements of vertical displacement within 5 years monitoring period. So we can even have a look back into history. Moreover, the local municipalities, urban planners, or infrastructure operators could have access to our platform and apply data mining strategies in order to evaluate associated risks. So what it means in terms of structural health monitoring, it's easy identification of ongoing problems, high resolution, and simultaneous monitoring of wide areas. We derive similar results and similar data over railway tracks, for example, over bridges, over dams in Spain, even over whole cities and airports, for example, in India, and even old volcano calderas in order to monitor the activity of volcano and residential buildings. Our data mining approach allows you to proactively search for problematic zones, and it has been recently awarded by Copernicus Masters Award, and it is fully scientifically backed by the manuscript in Remote Sensing Journal. And how we use all these benefits for our customers, we are thrilled to announce that our early adopter is the operator of biggest railway network in Europe, in Germany. So we will be working on monitoring whole railway network over Hamburg area. And we have already invested our energy into exploring the UK market, where we have a partner, a provider of crack and till monitoring units. This is our team. We have developed our system under cooperation with ESA and Airbus, and we are right now looking for the cooperation with you and explore UK market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matusz. I think that's a fantastic presentation. Great traction and technology. Matusz, are you still there with us? Hello? Well, we just lost Matusz there for a second. Hope he's gonna come back. Anyway, what do you think, guys, about this technology? I hope Matusz can hear us still.
I think it's very interesting. I would be just interested in knowing who they are considering as a customer. They mentioned German railway, but globally, if they're thinking about cities, or is it private companies, is it insurance? It really depends on how you kind of shape the business model.
I'm very sorry. I have been disconnected for the question. So could you repeat this, Petra?
Of course. I was just, I just wanted to ask you, Matusz, thanks for the presentation. Who are you considering as a customer? Because it's very exciting technology, but who will be paying for it?
Okay, I can still share the slides if you wish, because I have it prepared at the backup. So it will be best to see it on your own. So our main customers are local governments and municipalities, even smart city providers and infrastructure operators and assets managers. We in Slovakia work with, for example, geological survey to monitor landslides. We work with mining company to monitor mining activity in, or near the residential areas. And also we work with waterworks operator to monitor one of the biggest dams in middle of the Europe. I'm sure you know the Gabčíkovo and Čunovo dam. So these are our main clients. We are still at the early stage, so this figure needs to be developed further. However, we have developed a model with designing proof of concept with qualified leads and decision makers. So we are right now with 2 leads. We work with Deutsche Bahn, as I mentioned, and we have one partner in Asia. It's the developer of small satellite missions. So in 2021, we would like to reach 5 leads and 5 POCs with our team, and further in the years grow and grow. With an average ticket for the customer set at 65k euros, and the entry level, for example, for municipalities, we offer different products because our like a business model have different product tiers, and the entry level accounts for 50,000 entry level. So I can speak more about the total available market. This is only dedicated to cities and smart cities itself. So even the smart city providers could integrate their solutions into their system as a layer for informing their infrastructure operators, their urban planners about the structural stability, because we see that the structural stability the top priority for industrial operations. So I hope this answers your question. I can also speak more about different levels of our product and a subscription plan if you wish. So let me know.
Thank you, Matus. That was a great presentation, and it's becoming a very important area with extreme climate events increasing in that area. You didn't mention, I was at a conference at the Cambridge Judge Business School for risk studies, and a lot of the insurers came to that. You didn't mention insurers as potential customers. Do you see a role for them in your business model?
Yes, of course. Even in the UK, our partner is working with insurance groups and real estate agencies. So with all those effects of climate change, we are looking into these problems with them. One of the problems is, for example, the cultural heritage itself. So there are many shore cultural heritage in Scotland and over the UK, which needs to be monitored because of rising of the sea levels. So yes, we also try to penetrate new markets, and our partner from the UK is basically helping us to understand the problems of the UK market and how to address those. Yes?
Michael, please.
Yeah, fantastic company, Matus. I wanted to ask you a question. This company appears to be valuable to a wide range of clients, and including governments. So you've got B2G, you've got B2B. This is not so much a commercial question, but also just trying to work out where the true value lies. What sort of organization would you envisage would one day, buy your company? Would it be a government body, would you think, or would it be an insurance company? Or no, I'm not asking you to give specifics. I'm just trying to get a sense of where the core value lies in your opinion, and to whom.
Yeah, so as you see from our name, Insar.sk, we try to first penetrate the Slovak market, questioning and solving requests from governmental body, but it's always difficult to address the governments with a product of SME. So then we switch to more of a B2B model, and Remotio is like the end-to-end solution. But as you said, Michael, the topic is quite complex because our business model is modular. So still at the early stage, we try to tune it, and we decided to work with leads, with the qualified leads in the industry. So if we are supporting Deutsche Bahn with the analysis, we talk pretty much to their experts to hear their requirements and try to tune all the products according to them. So like a tailor-made service. And we see the future in this because, as you can also see, our data mining approach has been awarded by Airbus Space and Defense. So they also are a highly qualified lead, and they saw the opportunity in our product, the data mining itself, which allows you to proactively search for problems on the ground. So we cherish these partnerships, and we would like to bring the services that are actually responding to requirements that would help these qualified leads, but also the citizens if we will be successful in adopting and acquiring government institution in cooperation with us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Martus, and everyone for questions. This is really fantastic technology to solve so many problems. I'm sure your team will scale and you'll manage to work across all these industries smartly and scale in agile way. But yeah, that was all the time we have for this slot.
Thank you very much, all.
And for the next slot, we have Tomasz, who is a CEO and founder of Adela. Tomasz, please.
Hello. Yeah, let me share the screen. Just a second. Okay, and okay. So the story about Adela. Imagine that you are responsible for a website like the Times or the Sun. What wakes you up every night? Is my content good enough to attract audience? Does the website work and load fast? And do I have enough money to assure both, plus to make my board and investors happy? To attain this, you need plenty of advertisers, and you need them to compete. You need advertisers to compete in transparent auction. But even as a big publisher, you are struggling with the infrastructure, with the development capacities. You also need enough business capacities to set up contracts with advertisers, and you need operations to manage and maintain it. We've been hearing this for years, and finally there is a solution. I am Tomáš Vika, CEO from Adela, the platform as a service for online publishers, bringing auction solution for them. Adela takes care of the complete life cycle of online advertisement, starting with simple implementation, requesting bid offers, gathering and evaluating them in net prices in one currency, and at the end rendering the winning creative. All this without publisher needing to care about development resources, infrastructure, contracts, and so on. Also, 100% of revenue share belongs to publisher. Adela serves as a pass-through system in programmatic advertising, and business model is based at a technology fee for each ad request going through auction. There is a finished commercial product, and we are now happy to expand abroad from Czech and Slovakian market to UK, European Union, and Canada. Of course, we are not alone at the market. That's actually one of the advantages, because there is no need to educate, and almost all the publishers are aware of all the competitors and issues and struggles and some limitations. So it's easier to present Adela and its benefits. The goal now is to add more bidders and to simplify onboarding for publishers, as we would have to focus more on the sales. Then we would like to add some features like dynamic floor pricing and get auction opportunities for publishers in apps, connected TV, and video. Who is behind Adela? It's Tomáš Kučera, CTO and architect of the Adela. It's 9 great and experienced, industry experienced colleagues, and it's me, some kind of a bias CEO and a happiness hero position. Thanks for your attention.
Well, thank you, Tomáš, for a really, really great looking presentation. I'm sure the judges will have some interesting questions to ask you. Judges, who would like to go first? Jaroslav, please.
Hi, Tomáš. Thanks a lot for the presentation. My question is, who is the ideal customer for you? Is it some big media company, or
Yeah, at the very beginning, we thought that we will focus only on the mid and long tail small publishers. But after discussion with early adopters in Czech Republic, Mafra, Czech News Center, and Economia, they convinced us that they would also benefit from the solution. And yeah, it makes more sense for us to focus on bigger publishers now. So typically in UK, it's News UK, it could be Ringier. We are in touch with Ringier, Romania, and that kind of publishers.
Please go ahead, Michael.
Thomas, yeah, fantastic company. Thank you for that. Looks very innovative. What's the greatest benefit then to you if you're coming to the UK, which obviously does have a very long-term and established publishing infrastructure? What's the greatest benefit for your company? How's that going to help you to springboard?
Yeah, I spoke with the yield managers, for example, from News UK, and yeah, they already knew the competitors. They have their own open source solution from Prebid. They are running with Google open bidding solution and playing with Amazon solution. But with each of these, there are some issues with Google and Amazon. There is a business issue. They are out of control over the whole process. There is plenty of limitations, and it's also expensive. With the Prebid, there is a full control in their hands, but the problem is own development capacities, own business contracts, and maintaining of all of these. So yeah, they are keen to give it a try. What we are fighting a bit is to integrate as easy and quick as possible within their environment that they are running. But I think we are now ready for it and will launch the tests.
Nice.
Fantastic. Anyone has any questions, further questions? Well, if not, I might have a question for you, and this is, okay, Jaroslav.
I have a question related to sales. How long is the sales cycle, and how do you approach these media companies?
Yeah, pretty long, I have to say, as a sales guy. And we are working on improvements. The longest is the integration part. We've been at the very beginning struggling with the plug and play. Now it's easier for publishers to test it. So yeah, I'm reaching them via conferences, via LinkedIn, and other events, industry events. And yeah, it's about just simplifying the processes on our side. And then I think the life cycle could be 2 to 3 months to launch new publisher. And we can do mutual publishers in one cycle. Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. Just a quick question from me. What is the impact you can have, say, with, I don't know, a News Corp or a Bauer Media? Because you've got to get their attention, right? And they don't really have much IT capacity. So what can you promise them that you can bring back to them in terms of yield performance? One of their questions about us is the credibility and how big is the team and so on. We are 11. 9 of these are technicians, and they are only focused on this area. So it's more than, for example, in Minute Media, where it's 500 people, but only two guys are focused on auctions and technical part of the yield. And yeah, he can bring value and advantage in this.
Great. So how does your tech work? Do you have any unique selling point in terms of machine learning or using AI to kind of personalize the ad serving and bidding in that sense?
Yeah, it's all server side. It's something new for the market still. So there is no latency. We are solving some other technical issues, and it's fully controlled and transparent. So they can set up all the rules, choose the bidders, advertisers, and so on. So yeah, they see the log level data, and we are protecting also their data for external, espionage or something. Yeah.
Well, amazing. Well, if we don't have any other questions from judges, we shall move on then. Thank you so much, Tomasz, and then all thanks for the questions. And lastly, we have Henrik from RB Magnetics joining us. Hello, Henrik.
Hello, thank you very much. So let me share a screen, please. Can you see it, please?
Yes, we can. The stage
can you see it? Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Henrik Tauber, and today I would like to present you the smallest passive sensor in the world. We are an R&D company based in Slovakia, established in 2015 with a team of 16 people. And our scientific background lies in our professor, who is a father of our technology, and he's been working on the technology for more than 25 years in the research in applied magnetism. And he's coming with this tiny microwire sensor, which you can see on the screen, and I will later on show you a live demo as well. So it looks like a hair. It is actually thinner than a human hair. It has 1 centimeter in length and 20 micrometers in diameter. It can provide you with a direct contactless measurement of pressure, temperature, and magnetic field, but also indirect measurements on stress, vibration, movement, torsion, straining, and other parameters as well. Looking at the benefits of the technology itself, the huge advantage lies in their micro dimensions, because they could be embedded inside various material. We're talking construction material like composites or concrete, but also they can be embedded into a human body. They provide contactless measurements, so they're magnetic and they do not require any contact between the sensor and the sensing system. And we can get information up to 10 centimeter range. Moving on to something specific. Smart Petrogs is one of the applications that we are working on right now in our R&D development, and it is going to be a Bluetooth contactless device which will help to control and maintain a temperature of a Petri dish, and it will provide you contactless measurements, but also it will provide identification of certain Petri dishes, so we will know which Petri dish is which. There are, of course, more applications in the medtech industries, but also due to the time, I would like to introduce 4 other industry verticals that we are working on right now. One of them is in electric motors, the others, construction and civil engineering. The third, the batteries, or the thermal management of the batteries that we are monitoring right now. And last but not least, composite industry for the predictive maintenance of various materials in aerospace and automotive. So what are we looking for? We are looking for strategic investors who can act as an adopter or a client or an integrator of our technology to productize fully developed technology, which has been a work of our professor. So help us to bring this innovation to the market. Help us to smarten up the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Henrik. Very good presentation, I must say. Judges, please. Petra, go.
Henrik, for your presentation. My question would be, who would be your ideal first customer? Because you mentioned different verticals. So where would you start?
So we already started in the healthcare industry, working on the Petri dish example that we have shown, but also we have been working on one invasive application within localization of smart objects inside human bodies. But due to the NDA, I cannot disclose this information. But 2 more verticals we are working on right now, and the clients that our team and our R&D team is working on is in the composite industry, working on the embedding these sensors inside a composite material in order to create a smart composite material. So to provide you information on the cracks that are happening during the manufacturing process, or temperature measurement, because there's different heating and cooling down within this. But also working on the third, the batteries, which we mentioned this as well with Jonathan. We can also work on these temperature measurements from inside the batteries to provide the real-time temperature measurements. So basically, yes, we have chosen 5 different verticals, but 3 verticals is what we are focusing on: composites, electric motors / batteries, and healthcare / the Petri dish, which I've shown right now.
Very good. Jaroslav, please.
Henrik, who are your current customers and how much are you currently raising?
So we are not raising anything in particular. We are not looking for a financial investor. We are looking more for a strategic investor, so clients who can adopt the technology. Basically, our business model focuses on the R&D development and customization as well. So a client approaches us with their product, and he wants to smarten it up or actually bring an innovation to the market. So we will create a proof of concept. When he's satisfied, we continue to the customization phase, where we actually put together a whole productization together, customize the sensor, the sensing technology, sensing head, the electronics, and put it all together to have a final prototype that he can later on mass manufacture and bring it to the market. And the first question, Jaroslav, sorry, was it about the
you mentioned on one of the slides, you mentioned that you are VC funded. So who are the customers, investors? Sorry.
So they were public in the past, but now it's more of a private investor that I would rather not share publicly.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions?
So which of the application sectors seem to be the most promising to you? You mentioned 3, I believe. So where is the biggest potential in your opinion?
So, from my opinion, I see a big potential in healthcare application, but due to some of the invasive application, there is an FDA approval and a lot of administrative work that it will take a lot of time and years in order to really marketize and productize a specific application. So we are more focusing on the different. Also, we are working on that, but our client is going to take care of the FDA approvals. But we are more focusing on the construction and composites industries and batteries and smart electric motors, because we see the value there, because there is no such a technology right now that actually can provide you internal temperature measurements from inside the electric motors in order to really bring more efficiency from the motors itself. So really trying to pick those applications with conventional sensors cannot solve, and we're trying to really solve those questions and those problems.
Thank you. Michael has a question. Michael, please go on.
Yeah, Henrik, fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. This is a very detailed company with a lot of different moving parts and a lot of innovation going on. I'm not trying to tie you into anything in particular, but where do you see this in 10 years' time? Where will this company be? What could it look like?
So from my perspective, what I see is really creating specific verticals, joint ventures with the strong players in the market. Let's say top manufacturers, FTSE 100 companies, or the Fortune 500 companies, really making a joint venture company with them, from, let's say, healthcare joint venture company, automotive joint venture company, in aerospace. So making the big connections with those players, and actually bring the product onto the market. So that's our vision for the 10 years, really splitting into more focus, because as you can see, there is so many use cases that we can do that sometimes double-edged sword indeed. But from my perspective, as we see this over the years, it's all about really picking up those where we see there is the best market fit.
Thanks.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, and then just lastly, I have a question for you, and it's in lines with the intellectual property. You managed to develop something really innovative, something very small that can be obviously applied to so many different industries, which I'm sure you're gonna find the sweet spot for that. But when it comes to IP, where are you with the patents or any kind of protection of your designs or trademarks?
So basically, this is a technology. It's not that simple to really patentize it and really put it into one script, as we would actually give a lot of know-how away. So for now, we have to keep it as a trade secret, but of course, every single application can be patented. So if we have something specific, we will find the wording for that patent. And we do have a patent actually in smart concrete. And right now we are working on other patents, and actually our lawyers are working as well on patenting the technology, but without actually saying a lot of know-how, as it's a very unique technology. But I forget to show you actually the wires. So basically I'm having them in my hand right now. There are a bunch of them, but actually what you have is just one sensor, which I'm holding right now. It's very versatile, very flexible, and with this, they can be embedded really into varieties of that. So this is an innovation we would like to show to the world and find the right use cases and challenges that other companies cannot just solve with their conventional solutions.
Well, yeah, absolutely amazing that you managed to build such a great thing. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Henrik, and then thank thank you to all the judges really for amazing questions, and I'm sure you're now gonna do a great job by doing a proper voting, and you come up soon with the winners. And while we are waiting for you to do that, I believe we now it's time to invite our panelists to the stage and to host one of the panels. It's my great pleasure to introduce Marion Gosdick from Startup Grind. Hello, Marion.
Hey, Peter. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming. I'm sure you'll have great insights, but because you are originally from Slovakia and then moved to London long time ago and managed to work with these amazing Slovak and Czech companies. And today we also have co-founder of Slido, and Jan from Uplifting. I wouldn't waste any much of your time. Marion, please take over. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. It's really nice to be here, and it's lovely to see some old and new faces here. You know, with some of them we've been traveling around the US, like Petra. With some of them I dance salsa. With some of them we know each other from business. So it's good to see this community coming together. But now we will spend about 20 minutes to discuss something which is very important for especially upcoming startups and fast-growing companies. And this is how they start expanding into other countries. And we will zoom in especially into the UK, because the UK is for many reasons a very interesting place to be. And I would like to welcome here on stage 3 people from 2 companies. We have Peter Krajniak from Slido. Slido is probably a company which everybody knows. Hey, Peter. And we have 2 distinguished guests from a company called Uplifting, which is only 6 years old, but is growing very fast. And we have a co-founder of Uplifting, Vratislav Kalenda, and we have Jan Hauser, who is the CEO of Uplifting in the UK. Gentlemen, welcome. I would like to start with you, Peter. As Slido is slightly older, it started in 2012, right?
2012, exactly.
Yes, and the company started in quite a funny way, where you went for a hackathon, or the company founders went for a hackathon, which you organized.
That's true.
And so it was a startup weekend, and they had this idea of using the power of attendees at events. And you were not a co-founder of Slido, but you knew them before the company was started. You organized this hackathon for them, and you were also the first employee of Slido, right?
Sort of, yeah. First full-time employee, I guess.
Yeah, full-time employee. And maybe the craziest thing was how you started to build a company, and then you decided to expand internationally. Mm-hmm. And I would like to know not only how you entered the country where you went to, but how did you decide between certain countries? Because, for example, Slovakia is very close to several big markets like Germany and so on, but you didn't go for Germany. Tell us, what was the logic behind your expansion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in 2012, when the guys actually started the company, they were thinking about more like a consumer product, less than B2B, and they were like, for a year they were really trying to figure out, okay, what works, what doesn't work, and suddenly started working with a couple of conference companies in Slovakia. And then Peter Komornik, the CEO, he was at one of the events, something like this, where former head of partnerships of ESET was talking about. He was speaking there and said, okay, if you want to build a world-class company, go where the best customers are, right? And so you can build the best product for the best customers, because you can learn a lot from them. So he was trying to, okay, so how can I go there? You know, like basically I live in Slovakia, etc. And then I got fired from my previous job, And so we got like, okay, so Peter, maybe you can join the company. And after a couple of months of dating, we agreed that I'll join the company. And from the very beginning, it was decided I'll go abroad. And we decided to go to London because we felt it's a capital of Europe. It's very close actually to our time zone, and it's an English-speaking city. So I didn't have to learn French or German.
So for you, it was obviously a very simple choice. Let's go to uplifting. Vratislav, you started a company 6 years ago. Tell us, why did you want to build this enterprise?
It's very funny because it was kind of a legal shielding at first. We actually also won some hackathon, and we received funding money for a startup that we should help to build. And the problem was that with 200,000 Czech crowns, also there came a 200 pages long legal document, and we were contractors at the time. We were like, no way that we are going to sign this as a contractor. So we basically built uplifting as a vehicle to be able to build this startup. And actually it was a successful startup spin-off, and we stayed in the business of building software and digital products for others. And basically the company organically grew with our customers by word of mouth, and there are people referring us as a good digital product creation vendor. So, and now here we are, trying to make a dent in London.
And you're talking about London. Did you also go through a mental exercise of which country to start with first, or it was obvious to you?
Well, it was the same as Petra said. It was pretty obvious that we want to go to London. Very close time zone from Czech Republic. Very no language barrier from my point of view, because we all of us speak let's say decent English, so that we can communicate. And we also see that that we can make a biggest impact from all the cities in Europe here in London. So that was our decision factors why we wanted to go to London.
Okay, so let's start now and dig into how did you enter the market. Peter, you had probably a very adventurous start. You took your backpack and off you went to London. Was there a plan behind that, or it was just let's try and see?
So we were young and crazy, and now we are just crazy. I mean, and so we basically, I just went there. I didn't really know what to do, to be honest. I think it was super naive, but we had plenty of energy. We talked to many people. We talked to you, Marion. Many people, just random people, actually tried to help us because they liked the product, and they could see the potential even it wasn't even fully developed. And yeah, so essentially the best thing, as I also talked to the guys a couple of months ago, I think the best thing that created the momentum was actually ask people for feedback and then implementing the feedback, right? So people that were really like, people were gaining trust and recommending, and kind of like felt it's also their baby because they were helping actually building the product. And this way we really made the momentum, and exactly word of mouth helped us a lot. So asking for feedback and implementing it was the best strategy.
It was a very humble way of saying it, but what was your budget when you entered the UK?
So we had about 20,000 euros in a bank, and I don't mean as a
for the whole company,
as a me person, but as a company. Exactly, and that was for all the salaries and for all the flights, etc. So I used to spend 800 euros a month, including flight tickets, when I started in the UK. So I slept on the floor in the friend's house, and in hostels and that kind of stuff. So that was good fun.
So your market entry budget for the UK was £800 a month.
Euros.
Yes, euros. Okay, so it was a very adventurous exercise. Jan, you came to the UK quite recently. Tell us about what is your plan now it's probably 6 years after Slido came to UK or 7. And how did it change? Maybe you have a different plan than Slido used to have.
I have this advantage that we are kind of founded, so I can say that I have more than 800 euros per month. That's my advantage here, and we wanted to kick it off in January actually, but then due to COVID we had to postpone it, and we got this half a year to kind of plan everything, to start to talk about stuff, and to create some sales vehicle as well, some sales plan, and how we want to get here. So we had this 6-month period, and the beginning is basically pretty simple. Yeah. We talk to people, we ask them for advices. We even talked to Peter from Slido, and we asked them what would be the recommendation from their side. What should we do? Where should we go? And more I do it, I'm getting more and more interesting people, and we are kind of slightly putting it further.
I would like to ask both of you about industries. Peter, I know that Slido is an event-specific technology, and for you it was quite, as I remember your journey from the beginning, it was quite obvious to go to event-specific conferences. How long did it take Slido to go beyond this first obvious move and enter other new industries?
You say it was obvious. Now it is obvious. Back then, it's not always obvious. So again, London, which we actually didn't know before, it is capital of conferences. Right now, obviously with COVID, it was hit very hard, this entire conference segment. But luckily, about I think 3 years in, there was something called Google Moderator, which was for taking questions from the employees or during the classes at universities that the teachers used to use. But Google Moderator shut down. Google didn't want to actually develop it further. And we wrote a top SEO actually article, which was really on the top page, usually 1 or 2, about shutting Google Moderator and what are the alternatives. And obviously we put ourselves into the list, but also many of our competitors, because we felt it should be a fair game. And from here, many companies started to use actually Slido as a tool for internal communications, getting feedback from the employees and stuff. And essentially now with the COVID that almost destroyed our segment in conferences, that really helped us in the sense that companies, while being remotely, wanted to hear from employees even more, and we could see internal usage actually skyrocketed. So luckily, we got actually saved by this segment.
Okay, thank you. Jan, when you enter UK as a market, many companies are currently or going to be soon in the same shoes. How is uplifting targeting to enter the market? Are you going for specific industries like Slido did, or are you doing some content activities, or what is your plan to enter the market properly to make sure it's going to be worthwhile?
Yeah, currently we have this advantage that we are self-funded, so we don't have to ask for investment at the moment. But this channel is also an opportunity because simply you have to talk to people. You can either talk to startups and offer them your service, or you can talk to investors and VCs and whoever else, and get the connection, and they can contact you back if they get to something. So this is another channel. And for me, at the moment, what I try to solve is get ourselves to the community and to kind of offer some content and some value added. So we started in level 39, which is co-working space in the center of London. And it's great to be here with the other companies. You can get in touch with them. You can talk about their struggles. You can offer them help, like just talking about their problems. And we can share our webinars we organize at the moment. And I also contacted communities like Innovative Finance here, which is interesting group, or accelerator called Rise Barclay, and like groups like this. So you can get into, you can share the webinars, you can talk to people there, and this is how you get in. And then you can like actively wait. That's what I would say.
So it sounds a lot like you're focusing on fintech a lot. Is this an accident or is it by design?
Like the London market is like super competitive, so you have to choose your field, and you need to focus on this field. Like coming here and saying, okay, we can do software, like you would be anyone, like everybody can do software here. So you need to focus on a specific field, on something, and you say, okay, we are good at this, and if you have problems in this specific field, this particular one, we can help you, and we are good here. So let's do it together. This is the way, yeah.
Yes, that sounds good. Bratislava, I want to ask you regarding these industries, besides fintech, what would you like to focus your company in the long term on, which industries? And will these industries be specific just for the Czech Republic, or will this be industries which you want to focus on globally and locally as well? So for example, will UK be going at some point beyond fintech, or you want to focus on all these same industries everywhere?
Yeah, actually, we are the strongest in the fintech industry. But the thing that how we are thinking about focusing our company is more about saying no, we are not just a software house. We are a digital. So you can go for us for help with digital products. And not only with the implementation, because everybody does implementation, but actually even validation and the rollout of the product, the scaling of the product. And this is we want to start with the fintech, but then historically we are pretty strong in retail, in IoT, and other kind of like near fields. But for us right now, it's all about like building up this expertise and this kind of perception of uplifting as a digital product creation agency, not just a software house, because everybody does software, as Honza said.
Okay, that's useful. Peter, you mentioned that we had a prep call yesterday, and you told me that for you one of the key success factors of Slido was always focus on the customer. Can you tell us how this translates into your daily life? Like where are you using these mantras of just focusing on the customer, and why do you think this is so important for Slido?
I think as the company grows and the founders are a little bit further from the customer because they have different things to do, it's easy kind of like to still think that you know what customers want, but you actually don't. And I think there was a transition for about one or 2 years where we thought we know what customers want and we didn't. And just like kind of like a small advice, like don't forget about that. I think the rule of thumb is like if you are in B2C or like in B2B2C as we are, just talk to five customers a week, essentially one a day, really just like one call. It's very easy advice. Quite difficult to fulfill, but it's a good advice. And so you make sure you don't lose touch with the customers.
It is true. Last week I had I gave a quick call to Peter Komornik, the founder of Slido, and he just messaged me. I'm sorry, I can't speak right now on customers calls. So he called me like half an hour later, and he told me yes, he's doing these calls. Are you doing it for the whole day usually, or how often do you do these calls? Like once a month for the whole day? Or?
It's like half an hour a day. So that's you.
Okay.
Basically, you join one of the product teams or user research teams or one of the customer success teams where they have calls. Like we have access to each other calendars, so you just message them if I can join the call, so you don't basically lose the touch with the customers when you're making decisions.
I fully agree. Bratislav, I wanna go back to what Peter just said about the customer feedback, and in your case it's slightly different because you need to be the advocate of the product because you're going to be developing it for the customer. And I noticed that you often ask customers these uncomfortable questions about do they have it validated, do they not? How do you proceed when you start speaking with customers, and how do you make sure they keep the customer's voice in mind when developing something?
Yeah, this is very tricky question, or very tricky procedure indeed, because you need to build a trust with the customer to kind of allow him to listen to you, but at the same time you have to start asking the very hard questions, like, do you have this validated? Have you talked to your customers, or is it only from your head, this idea, right? And this is a very thin balance between like even losing the customer and actually helping him navigating through to the other side and kind of understand, letting him this validation either with us or without us. He's risking his money and his investment on something that might never come to fruition, because there's always risk that you are building a wrong thing. And actually the risk of building the thing wrong is much smaller compared to the risk that you are building a thing that nobody will use to. And this is a know-how that we've came to amass during our 7 years of existence. So it's I completely understand that people just starting their business, just starting their great new idea, they are all kind of like excited about their product and don't see the need for validation. But that's the first trap, how you can quickly fall.
That's very useful. Thank you. Yeah, you are now based in London, right? And you're physically based there. Can you tell us about some factors which helped you get established faster in the UK? The UK is a market which is quite international. However, it's useful to have local references. It's useful to have to be considered as a company which is based there and not doing business from elsewhere. How do you solve this situation for a company which is quite new on the UK market, like Uplifting?
Like what helped us from the beginning was we talked to people on British Embassy and we kind of asked what are the first steps to do. You need to create an account, you need to establish company and stuff like that, like the process thing. So this is kind of necessary. You need to get in your head, like, how is the order you have to do the stuff, like in which order you should do it. And after that, what helps me a lot, like you just recently talked about it, you have to talk to people, and more than like putting your stuff to them is you need to get something from them. And from each call I have with people here, I get something new. Like I ask the questions like, what would be your recommendations? How we should establish here in the UK market? What are the specific steps you would recommend? But it's not so easy. It's not so easy to give advices like go there and do this. You need to keep your mind open, and then everything gets easier. Yeah, it's kind of really soon for me, but ask me after a year, and I will tell you if it was a successful journey or not. But now after a month, yeah, it's pretty hard.
Okay, we can talk about it in a year's time. Peter, for you, when you came to the UK, I remember you were lucky or hardworking enough to having met some interesting advisors and people who knew the industry, who were senior and who believed in you. How did you meet them, and how did you establish a relationship with these people?
Most of them, they became our users first, I would say, right? Or they were brave enough to try the software in front of 100 people who pay a lot of money for conferences, and they're like, okay, we're just testing this software. And many of them, we actually became great friends. And even actually one of the first we hired one of the first employees actually we hired was our former clients and big, I would say big fan of Slido, right? And she luckily joined actually our business and helped us again grow and get actually closer to the community of conference organizers and knew everything about the business. So that was very lucky. That's true.
Okay. People often say that you make a true leap into a new market only after you start hiring locally. How do you both see it? Is it something which you agree with, or you think you can run the company from Czech Republic or Slovakia, also in the UK? Always
to be very honest, yeah, I was super impressed how open people in London were. I thought I had like this kind of like Eastern European sort of complex that I come here and I don't even speak the language properly, and etc. And they would be like, okay, so who is this guy actually selling me what? But they were super helpful. Everybody was very friendly, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. But it took me about a year essentially to overcome this complex. Yeah.
Yes, Bratislav, how was it in your case?
Yeah, I think it's super important to have a local presence in the UK. So that's why we have Jan there. But I think, as Petra said, the people are served locally. You have the same quality of life as being served with truly London-based company. Everything works, and we think this will work as well for us.
Sounds good, gentlemen. I would like to thank you out of time. Thank you for your time to be here, sharing your thoughts, your insights, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully, we'll see each other on some other stage at some other event.
Thank you, Marion. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Well, thank you so much, Marion. That was very useful panel. Thank you for trying to squeeze out all the useful information from these successful Slovakian company and Czechoslovakian company who moved to and scaled to the UK. Please tell me more about Startup Grind and what are you preparing for the audience?
A Startup Grind. So Startup Grind is we are already getting a bit old as a startup. So we started 10 years ago. So we're already quite old. Startup Grind is the world's largest independent organization for startups. We are based in about 500 cities in 125 countries, and we organize regular events for the startup community. So we invite interesting founders and CEOs of big companies and investors and business leaders to help us share what they've learned for the upcoming generation, so they don't have to make the same mistakes. And like any other company, we also adjusted to this pandemic world, and we do these events from virtually anywhere because we do it virtually now. And maybe the biggest thing is going to be our regular global conference of Startup Grind, which is usually taking place in February in Silicon Valley. And this time we will be doing it for the first time as a virtual event. So this is something which we are now currently working on.
Well, that's absolutely amazing that Startup Grind has adapted to these pandemics and then transformed to digital from being a physical event-led organization. Well, Marion, I really want to thank you so much for coming today and talking to these fantastic founders. I hope that was good inspirations for all these startups who are watching and competing in this competition. And we will see many more companies from emerging Europe coming to the UK soon, and we will be able to support them further. So, Marion, thank you so much again.
My pleasure, and all the best to the startups.
Thank you. So now it gives me a great pleasure to invite to the stage Nigel Baker, Her Majesty's Ambassador to Slovakia, so that he can announce the winners and say a few closing remarks. Nigel, honored to have you here.
Petra, thank you very much indeed for the invitation. It's a real honor for me to have this chance to announce the winners. I know because I sat in on the panel just how tough the decision has been. I think they were really impressed with everybody, all the presentations, the possibilities, options of all of the companies. So really difficult to find winners and select the 3 who will go through to the European final round. But they've done so, and I will read them out, and then I think they'll have a chance to say a few words before I conclude this event today. So in no particular order, the 3 winners are, first of all, from Slovakia, Emobot. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Secondly, from the Czech Republic, Marion. Well done. And
thank you very much.
Third winner from Slovakia is insa.sk.
Thank you very, very much.
Congratulations, all of you. Really well done. Fantastic competition. Perhaps I might, in the order that I read them out, invite you to say a couple of words before I conclude the event. So perhaps starting with you, Jonathan, from Emobot.
Certainly, Nigel, thank you very much. From one Brit to another, it's great to have the recognition for Emobot, clearly on a not only a national European, Central European, but also global stage as we grow our business to transform electric mobility and deliver customized battery cells that will really accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles across all sectors. So thank you for the recognition. We look forward to participating in the European round and hopefully then putting our case forward there as well.
Best of luck in that, Jonathan. Congratulations again. And now I might pass over to Veronica from Marion. Congratulations, Veronica.
Thank you very much, Nigel. We are really delighted and honored by this achievement, and we see Tech Rocketship Awards as a great opportunity to kickstart our expansion to the UK, which is one of our primary target markets. And huge thanks goes to our investors, customers, partners, everyone who supports us, and especially our Milas team that stands behind the great work towards making our cities more livable and urban mobility more sustainable. Thank you very much for the recognition.
Oh, congratulations, Veronica. You've all got, I'm sure, great teams behind you sort of producing these, the fantastic work you're doing. I'm sure that's the same as for INSA as well, Matos.
Yes, we'd like to thank you very much for the recognition, the organizers for organizing such a great event, especially in this competitive territory. Like such a recognition is really amazing. I wish all the participants, because I saw all the presentation, I wish all the participants lots of success, and I'm tremendously happy that what ideas and what innovative ideas have been presented today. I would like to thank my team, our company's most important asset, and we are looking forward to help with structural health monitoring in the UK. Thank you very much.
So congratulations again, Emobot Marion and insa.sk. But congratulations also to everybody. I mean, a fantastic range of innovative ideas, presentations, all businesses, I think, and certainly this was the view of the panel, all businesses that have got real potential to develop and grow. This is the end of this part of the Tech Rocketship Awards. I would really like to conclude events. First of all, congratulating the winners. Best of luck. We want to see Czech and Slovak companies doing really well in the European final round. I know one of the panelists is going to be our Her Majesty's Trade Commissioner, Richard Byrne, who's really looking forward to seeing the winners and looking to see who will go on to expand in the UK amongst the winners of the European final round. But I think what we've seen today, above all, is how Slovakia and the Czech Republic are home to so many innovative companies. We've had the winners, those who took part and produced fantastic pitches, and also many, many others that I've come across. I mean, you've all of those today that presented have got the potential to succeed in the UK. And as much as at home. And I know that the FDI team at the Department for International Trade is going to be looking to follow up with everybody to support you in your plans for the UK. So this isn't the end of the road by any means for those who aren't going through to the final. I'd also actually really like to thank Startup Distrup for being a really indispensable partner, fantastic hosts for the event, all of those who took part, the judges who worked very hard to get the right result, to moderator, thank you, Petra, to those managing the technology. All of you guys are in the technology business, but I think this worked really well today. So thank you all, fantastic event. Looking forward to see you all at the European final round. Congratulations to everybody who took part, and thanks for being involved. As it says on the poster behind me, innovation is great, business is great. You're doing both together. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have a good lunch. Thanks very much indeed. I get up, can't deny it.